It's really good. It's really good. Shh. Quiet, please.
Hello class, welcome to this week's filmmaking lesson. We have 2 weeks before summer vacation. So this sponsor video will be Summer Luggage WestJet number ads. It will be added to Kimono Friends 2 Anime 2019 episodes 4-9. So first, we will be doing home video releases. On today, we will be doing The Beach Bum by North American Beaver and Black-tailed Prairie Dog at Kimono Friends who take the two of them to Austria, Europe. Here is the plot in this film. Poet Moondog lives a hedonistic and pseudo-nomadic lifestyle in and around the Florida Keys while slowly working on his new book and enjoying life as a local legend despite the common opinion that he is past his prime. His escapades are funded by his wealthy wife Minnie and to the disapproval of their soon-to-wed daughter Heather and his agent Lewis. Moondog frequently flirts and cheats with several women he meets on his journeys while Minnie is in a passionate affair with Moondog's friend and singer Lingerie. After arriving late to Heather's wedding in Miami, Moondog gropes the groom, Frank, in front of the audience. Later, during a talk about Moondog's crude behavior, Minnie confesses her affair to her daughter, which Moondog has no knowledge of. Meanwhile, Moondog and Lingerie smoke cannabis and Lingerie shows Moondog a potent strain of cannabis endemic to an isolated pond in Jamaica which he claims to be responsible for his success. During the reception, Moondog smooths things over with Heather and Frank while they cut the cake. He later witnesses Minnie and Lingerie kissing and, in shock, swims in a fountain and then runs off. Minnie tracks down Moondog at a local bar and the two enjoy a night of intoxicated karaoke, dancing and driving, culminating in a car accident. Moondog escapes with minor injuries but Minnie dies in the hospital shortly after. In Minnie's will, half of the estate goes to Heather while Moondog's half is frozen and placed under Heather's control, which she will grant him once he proves he can mature and finish his novel. In retaliation, and due to Lewis' refusal to book seminars for Moondog due to his work ethic, Moondog recruits several homeless people including Homeless Phil and trashes Minnie's mansion. To avoid prison time, he agrees to a year of rehabilitation but breaks out of the facility with a pyromaniac named Flicker. The two later part ways as Moondog makes his way back to Miami. He bumps into an old friend and alleged Vietnam veteran dubbed Captain Whack, who offers Moondog an opportunity to co-captain dolphin tours around the Outer Keys. However, Whack decides to swim with the dolphins during a tour before realizing too late that they are sharks, who sever his foot and put an end to his brief partnership with Moondog. Now back in Miami and wanted by the law, Moondog reconnects with Lingerie, who confesses to Moondog about his affair with Minnie but claims Minnie truly loved Moondog. The revelations provoke little reaction from Moondog. After Lingerie and Jimmy Buffett tell Moondog about a respective dream and experience the two had concerning cross-dressing to avoid detection, Moondog begins to do just that. The police eventually bear down on Lingerie's property, prompting Moondog to flee to Key West with Lingerie's help and an undisclosed amount of the Jamaican weed. Inspired, Moondog completes his book, a poetic memoir titled The Beach Bum. The book is universally lauded and nets Moondog a Pulitzer Prize. A newly divorced Heather is impressed with her father's strides and unfreezes his inheritance, which Moondog demands to be in physical cash and placed on a large sailboat. During a party to celebrate his wealth, Moondog lights the money on fire which triggers several fireworks and causes an explosion. Moondog survives unscathed but the crowd is too concerned with the raining money to care as he drifts away while on a boat. Alright. On tomorrow, we will be doing Corvette Summer 1978 film. Here is the plot in this film. Kenny Donnelly is a car-loving Southern California high school senior. For a project in his shop class, Kenny helps build a customized Chevrolet Corvette Stingray with a right-hand drive. Shortly after the new set of wheels is unveiled, the car is stolen from the streets of Van Nuys. After hearing that the car is in Las Vegas, Kenny immediately sets out on an adventure to take back the stolen car. On the way, he meets the seemingly confident Vanessa, who is a self-described prostitute in training. Kenny finds work in a Vegas car wash, and spots his car on more than one occasion. He tracks it down to a local garage, where he has an incident with the garage owner, Wayne Lowry, before being bailed out by Vanessa. Kenny's high school teacher, Ed McGraw, comes to Las Vegas, and Kenny is upset to learn that the teacher he once admired had arranged for the theft of the Corvette to help supplement his low earnings as a teacher. McGraw arranges for Kenny go to work for Lowry. On behalf of himself and his family, McGraw begs Kenny not to take the matter to the police. McGraw also ominously notes that if Kenny doesn't agree, one of Lowry's men will handle it his way. Kenny agrees, but secretly plans to take the Corvette back. Eventually, Kenny completes his plans, takes the car back, saves Vanessa from an unusual scenario in a hotel, wins a wild car chase, and returns in triumph with the Corvette, and Vanessa, to his old high school. He keeps McGraw's secret, but rebuffs his attempts to repair their friendship. He gives the car back to the school, but walks away with Vanessa and his freshly earned high school diploma. Alright. On Wednesday, we will be doing Hotel Mumbai 2019 film. Here is the plot in this film. On November 26, 2008, Arjun reports for work as a waiter at the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Mumbai, India under head chef Hemant Oberoi, who reminds his staff that guest is God. The day's guests include Muslim Iranian British heiress Zara and her American husband, David, with their infant son Cameron and his nanny Sally, as well as ex-Spetsnaz operative Vasily. That night, a group of 10 terrorists masterminded by a man known as the Bull launch a coordinated assault against 12 locations across Mumbai, including the hotel. As the local police are not properly trained or equipped to handle the attack, they can only wait for special forces to arrive from New Delhi. In the ensuing chaos, Arjun, David, Zara, and Vasily are trapped in the hotel restaurant with several other guests, while Sally, unaware of what is going on, remains with Cameron in their hotel room. David sneaks past the terrorists and successfully reaches Sally and Cameron. Arjun follows Oberoi's instructions and escorts the guests under his care to the Chambers Lounge, where they hope to remain safe. David, Sally, and Cameron attempt to regroup with them, but David is captured by the terrorists and taken hostage while Sally and Cameron are trapped in a closet. Meanwhile, police forces decide to enter the hotel in the hopes of reaching the CCTV room so they can track the terrorists' movements. Arjun attempts to escort a mortally wounded guest off the premises so she can reach a hospital. They encounter the police, and the guest panics and flees, only to be shot dead. Arjun escorts the police to the CCTV room, and they discover that the terrorists are about to break into the Chambers Lounge using the ID of a policeman they had killed earlier. The police order Arjun to stay put and attack the terrorists, successfully wounding one before being driven off. Against Oberoi's advice, Zara and Vasily decide to leave the lounge to find David. They are also caught and taken hostage. Eventually, the special forces arrive, and the Bull orders the terrorists to move to the final phase of their plan and burn the hotel down. The terrorists leave their wounded member, Imran, to oversee the hostages, and the Bull eventually tells him to kill them. Imran executes David and Vasily, but spares Zara when she begins reciting a Muslim prayer, ignoring the Bull's command to shoot her regardless. Arjun regroups with Oberoi and evacuates the remaining guests, stumbling upon Sally and Cameron in the process. The special forces kill the terrorists, and Zara is evacuated by crane and reunites with her nanny and son. Arjun returns home and reunites with his own wife and daughter. The Taj Hotel staff is seen reopening the hotel. A note is given that explains the Bull remains free to this day despite masterminding the attacks and remembers the staff and guests who fought in the Battle of Hotel Mumbai. Alright. On Thursday, we will be doing the Mustang 2019 film. Here is the plot in this film. Roman Coleman has been incarcerated for 12 years after leaving his domestic partner permanently brain damaged in an attack. Aware of his short temper and violent tendencies, he has resisted efforts to be reintegrated back into society. While working outdoor maintenance, Roman is placed in a rehabilitation program run by Rancher Miles that assigns prisoners with training wild Mustangs. Each prisoner in the program is given a specific horse to train, and Roman is required to complete the training within 5 weeks before his horse is sold at an auction. Roman initially struggles with the training of his Mustang, but under the guidance of Henry, An inmate regarded as the top horse trainer, he begins to make progress. As the weeks pass, Roman becomes close with the horse, whom he names Marquis, and forms a friendship with Henry. The program suffers a blow, however, when Henry is murdered by Dan, Roman's cellmate. Roman retaliates by strangling Dan into unconsciousness before they are broken up by guards. The day of the auction arrives, which Roman invites his pregnant daughter Martha to attend with the hope of improving his relationship with her. While Roman showcases Marquis to the auctioneers, he becomes distracted after he notices Martha is not present. This distraction leads to disaster when Marquis is startled by an overhead helicopter, causing Roman to fall off his horse and nearly be trampled as the other trainers restrain Marquis. Shortly afterwards, Roman learns from Miles that Marquis has been deemed untrainable and will be euthanized. Taking advantage of the prison gates being damaged by a storm, Roman is able to help Marquis escape and return to the wild. Sometime later, Roman receives a letter from Martha acknowledging her father's refusal to leave prison. The letter also includes a photo of Martha with Roman's newly born grandson, who she intends to have Roman meet during her next visit. After Roman finishes reading the letter, he spots Marquis standing by the prison gates and smiles. Alright. On Friday, we will be doing Run the Race 2019 film. Here is the plot in this film. Actually, there is no plot. Anyway, it's just none of these plots. Alright. Also on Friday, we will be doing the Scorpion King 2002 film. Here is the plot in this film. Before the time of the pyramids, a horde from the east, led by the ruthless Memnon, who by their law, is king for being their greatest warrior, invades the prehistoric world. His many victories come from the help of a sorcerer who predicts the outcomes of battles, leaving only a few free tribes to oppose him. Matthias, his half-brother Jessup, and their friend Rama, the only three true remaining Akkadians, are hired by King Farron of the free tribes to kill Memnon's sorcerer for 20 blood rubies. This bargain upsets both Farron's son Takmit, as the rubies are the last of their treasury, and Nubian King Balthazar, who dislikes the Akkadians. The Akkadians manage to sneak into Memnon's camp but are ambushed by his guards, having been tipped off by Takmit, who killed his own father and defected to Memnon's side. Jessup and Rama are hit by arrows, but Matthias manages to sneak into the sorcerer's tent, where he sees that the sorcerer is actually a sorceress, Cassandra. Matthias is ambushed and meets Memnon, who executes Jessup in front of him. Cassandra warns Memnon against killing Matthias, saying the gods wish him to survive the night and defying them will incur their wrath and cost him his victories. To circumvent this, Memnon has Matthias buried to his neck in the desert to be devoured by fire ants at dawn. Matthias manages to escape with help from a horse thief, Arpid. Deciding to finish his mission and avenge his brother, Matthias sneaks into Memnon's stronghold, Gamara, and manages to enter Memnon's palace with help from a street urchin. He briefly meets Memnon's sympathetic court magician, Philos, who hides him and directs him to the courtyard where Memnon is training. Matthias tries to shoot Memnon from the watchtower, but he is forced to save the street urchin from having his hand amputated for theft, alerting the guards to his presence. Matthias barely manages to escape Gamara, abducting Cassandra along the way, aware that Memnon will come for her. Cassandra tries to escape from Matthias and tells him that she has been Memnon's prisoner since she was a child. Sympathetic towards her for saving his life, Matthias allows her the choice of leaving, but warns her of worse dangers and that she is likely safer with him. Meanwhile, Memnon sends his right-hand man, Thaorak, and a group of guards to kill Matthias and retrieve Cassandra. Matthias manages to slay them all under the cover of a sandstorm and in a cave. While dying, Thaorak manages to stab Matthias in the leg with a scorpion blood-laced arrow. Cassandra uses her magic to save Matthias' life. As an insult, Matthias sends Thaorak's blood-stained pendant to Memnon. Matthias, Arpid and Cassandra run into Philos, who had earlier managed to flee from Memnon's palace and has perfected an explosive powder. However, they are ambushed by the rebels, now under the rule of Balthazar. Though Matthias defeats Balthazar in a fight and earns his grudging respect and sanctuary, Cassandra has a vision of Memnon and his army slaughtering the entire rebel camp. she informs Mathias and then prophesies that when the moonlight reaches Memnon's palace, the king on high will become the invincible Scorpion King, and Memnon believes himself to be the one destined to become the Scorpion King. Furthermore, she informs Mathias that if he faces Memnon, he will likely die, but Mathias assures her that he will make his own destiny and they sleep together. The next morning, however, Cassandra returns to Memnon in order to stall and possibly kill him. Mathias, with help from Balthazar, Arpad, Philos and the army of rebels, launches an all-out assault on Memnon's stronghold, facing Memnon personally before he can kill Cassandra. Balthazar confronts and kills Takmit, avenging Pharon, and takes on the full force of Memnon's forces alone. The battle rages on until Mathias is shot by a guard, as predicted by Cassandra. As Memnon takes his place in the House of Scorpio to become the Scorpion King, Cassandra kills the guard while Mathias retrieves his bow, pulls the arrow out of his shoulder and uses it to shoot the exhausted Memnon, sending him off the edge of the roof. At the same time, Philos and Arpad use the explosive powder to destroy the palace's foundation stone, bringing down the bulk of Memnon's forces. Memnon is consumed by the flames as he falls to his death. With the battle over, the remnants of Memnon's army bow before Mathias, who by their law is their new king, the Scorpion King. In the aftermath, Mathias and Balthazar share a good-natured farewell as the latter returns to his own kingdom. Cassandra tells Mathias that she sees a period of peace and prosperity coming, but warns him that it will not last forever. Undeterred, Mathias decides that they will make their own destiny. Alright. Also on Friday, we will be doing Slaughterhouse Roule's 2018 film. Here is the plot in this film. A sinkhole appears at a fracking site in the woods near an esteemed but tough British boarding school, causing the pupils and teachers alike to fight for their survival against the monsters it unleashes. Alright. Also on Friday, we will be doing Us 2019 film. Here is the plot in this film. In 1986, young Adelaide Thomas goes on vacation with her parents to Santa Cruz. At the beach, she wanders off while her father is playing whack-a-mole and enters a funhouse, where she encounters a doppelganger of herself in the Hall of Mirrors. When her parents eventually find her, she is unable to speak. In the present day, the adult Adelaide, who has since recovered her speech, heads to her family's lake house in Santa Cruz with her husband, Gabe Wilson, and their two children, Zora and Jason. She is apprehensive about the trip, but Gabe brushes off her misgivings while eager to impress their rich friends, Josh and Kitty Tyler. They meet the Tyler family at the Santa Cruz beach. After arriving, Jason wanders off and sees a man standing alone with blood dripping from his hands. When she realizes Jason is missing, Adelaide panics, and the family leaves the beach as soon as he is found. That night, a family of four dressed in red appears in the Wilsons' driveway. They break into the Wilsons' home and attack them. The Wilsons quickly realize the four intruders are doppelgangers of themselves, led by Adelaide's double, Red, the only one who speaks. Red explains that the doppelgangers are called the Tethered, that they share a soul with their counterparts, and that they have come to untether themselves. The family is separated by their doppelgangers. Red makes Adelaide handcuff herself to a table, Zora is pursued by Umbri and Gabe by Abraham, and Jason is sent to play with Pluto in the closet. Zora evades Umbri and Gabe manages to kill Abraham, while Jason discovers that Pluto mirrors his actions and manages to lock him in the closet. Red is drawn away by Pluto's cries, allowing Adelaide to break free. The family regroups and escapes on their boat. Meanwhile, the Tyler family are murdered by their Tethered. The Wilsons arrive and realize what has happened, eventually killing the Tyler's doubles and turning on the news to see that millions of Tethered have been murdering their counterparts across the nation. The doppelgangers subsequently join hands together to form a massive human chain. 5. As the Wilsons drive away in the Tyler's car, they are attacked by Umbri but manage to kill her. As day breaks, the Wilsons arrive at the Santa Cruz boardwalk, where they find the road blocked by their own car, which has been set on fire. Pluto has set a trap for the Wilsons, standing over a gasoline trail with a match. Jason, remembering that Pluto imitates his actions, makes Pluto walk backward into the fire. Red reappears and abducts Jason, and Adelaide runs after them. While Zora and Gabe recuperate in an abandoned ambulance, Adelaide returns to the funhouse and finds a secret tunnel in the Hall of Mirrors. It leads to an underground facility overrun by rabbits, where Adelaide finds Red. Red explains that the tethered were clones created by the United States government in order to control the public. The experiment failed and the tethered were abandoned underground for generations, mindlessly copying the actions of their surface counterparts, until Red organized them to escape and take revenge. The two fight, with Red anticipating and countering all of Adelaide's attacks. Adelaide finally manages to overpower her by making a surprise counter of her own, then choking her. She then finds Jason hidden in a locker. Adelaide drives the family away in the ambulance and recalls the night she met Red in the Hall of Mirrors. It is revealed that Red is the real Adelaide and the surviving Adelaide is the doppelganger. That night in 1986, Adelaide choked Red unconscious, damaging her vocal cords, drags her underground, handcuffs her to a bed, and takes her place in the surface world, revealing why she couldn't speak after being found. Jason, possibly knowing this, puts his mask on while being terrified of this realization. As the Wilsons drive off, the camera pulls back to show that the tethered have joined hands across the country with news helicopters and their crew filming the humankind from above. Alright. Also on Friday, we will be doing Wonder Park 2019 film. Here is the plot in this film. June Bailey, an aspiring girl with a bright imagination, and her mother come up with a story of Wonderland, a magical amusement park run by a group of animals: Boomer, a big blue bear who greets guests; Greta, a wild boar; Gus and Cooper, beaver brothers; Steve, a porcupine who is in love with Greta; and Peanut, the leader of the park and a chimpanzee who has the ability to create rides by listening to June's mother's voice. Over time, Mrs. Bailey starts to get sick and is sent away for recovery. June starts alienating from Wonderland, and burns the blueprints of the park out of frustration. Sometime later, Mr. Bailey sends June to math camp. After misinterpreting a note from her father as a cry for help, she uses her friend Banky to create a distraction on the bus to escape and return home, but instead she unexpectedly finds a broken-down Wonderland in the woods. The park is currently being stormed by a cloud named the Darkness. June and the animals attempt to fix the park's mechanism but are attacked by chimpanzombies, the park's former plush toys. In the chaos, June gets separated from the animals and finds herself in a floating chamber known as Zero G Land. There, June finds Peanut hiding from the darkness and confesses he felt lost after he stopped hearing the voice in his head. This leads June to realize that the darkness was created by herself as a result of her cynicism from her mom's illness. The chimpanzombies break in and take Peanut as their prisoner, but June manages to escape. June runs back to the animals to tell them she found Peanut, but also confesses that she is responsible for the darkness. Feeling upset over this revelation, they abandon her. After noticing the piece of the blueprint and realizing that she has been able to create the ideas for the park herself, June manages to fix one of the attractions to catch up with the animals and make it to the park's mechanics. The gang finds the chimpanzombies taking Peanut to get sucked up into the darkness. The animals fight back while June rushes to save Peanut by jumping into the void. She reveals to him that she provided the voice for his imagination and that he should not let the darkness take over him, giving him an idea to make a slide to escape, and June then notices that the park's mechanics is her name written in cursive, just like the blueprint piece. With Peanut's help, they get the mechanics back up and running by using her name to move the gears, and clear up Wonderland from the darkness. A cloud remains over the park, to which June interprets as a reminder to continue to be imaginative. June returns home and with it, a cured Mrs. Bailey, and they set up a Wonderland in their backyard. June then shares to other kids the story of Wonderland. Alright. That's all the home video releases we got. So second, we will be doing Monkey Pictures and Roman Cow Productions and Donkey Teeth Company shorts. It is about Father's Day in 2019. A clip art of Dad was shown in this image voicing a character by some guy named Woody. Sheriff Woody. And he plays with the kid and he was still unsure what was going to happen to Dad. Alright. That's all the shorts we got. So third, we will be doing Samsung Galaxy S10e. Corn dog are in America, so I'll call it American corn dogs. You class can do hitting stuff and anything you want on Samsung Galaxy S10e. Alright. That's all I got for today, let's do some work now.
Alright, let's do some work now.